Why, hello there, and welcome to Kitchen Talk, which isn't actually a thing. I just made it up because I happen to be standing in my kitchen. I had more think thoughts. Can you believe it? Bang, crimp. That's the image I get when something's like, whoa, as I bangs randomly crimp. And it was on this weekend's gospel. This weekend's gospel is one of those where you kind of leaves you being like, what do you be talking about, Jesus? I don't understand. So Jesus says, if you need to love me more than your father and your mother and your sister and your brother. And there's if we don't take it to a deeper level, then you stay stuck in, what you be talking about, Jesus, and closing the book and running away, crying. But I had a think thought that I had never thunk before. And that is, to love Jesus, to love Christ, is to bring ourselves into a depth of a love that doesn't separate this into that. It brings us into a depth of a love that is a core of all of creation, of all of life, that is this fabric and this heartbeat of life. So it got me thinking that if I love my mom or my sister or my brother or my dad or my friend, only because of what they do for me, or if they're this or if they're that, if that love is separated into these categories that we do, and that is not, it's a part of being human, are we really loving? It brings you into a deeper way of thinking. And so if I love my family with a Christ love, that's loving Christ and light and love within my mom and my dad and my sister and my brother and my friend and that person across the street and that dude over there that you just saw doing that thing. That is a completely different way of living life, and it's a completely different way of seeing, and it gives life, and it gives love, and it gives tenderness, and it gives mercy. And that's how we discover life within ourselves. And then Jesus goes on to say, those who find their lives will lose it, but those who lose their lives for my sake will find it. And that's the other part of this, which is like, I can find my life only by letting go of my grip of how I think it should be. You see, if I can let go into this flow, into this love, into this life, and I live in it, but I'm able to be like, I don't know, and that's okay. I don't need to know all the things. I don't need to control all the things. But what I can do is choose to live and practice loving Christ, loving love, loving life. Insert the word that you're comfortable with here. So, to really love my mom or my dad or my sister or my brother or my neighbor, to really love them is to know Christ in them, is to see that light in them. And that can look in many different ways, because maybe that person isn't that healthy, and then you love them from a distance. There's so much depth and beauty for it. It's not this or that. It's not either or. It's both and. It's all of these things. This mystery and this grace and this life that we can, if we can let go into that love, well, then you finally have taken off all of the boundaries that you've put on your own imagination and your way of living and your way of loving. So, I don't know, maybe something spoke to you, or maybe you're sitting there being like, what you talking about, Sheena? I don't know. And you're going to turn off your computer and run away crying. I don't know, that could be. Anyway, grace and peace, friends. Thanks for joining me for Kitchen Talk.